Hey everybody, it's Jer. I'm back with my, is this number, number 4, my 4th video. I'm doing a video series on what it's like to be gay and to answer some questions about being gay. What has brought this series on is that I came out in 2008 and was disowned. I'm going to make this story really fast. It's a long story, but I'll make it short. Anyways, I came out in 2008, was disowned by my family. 8 years later, in 2016, my mom had contacted me a few different times throughout that time period, but recently, for the holidays, coincidentally, right after I released a video telling my coming out story, she sent me a text and was like, "Hey, I miss you and I love you, and I'm sorry things have happened the way they have, but I would like to still have some kind of relationship with you, even if you can't ever bring your boyfriend or partner here, or and to visit us, I'd still want to have some kind of relationship with you, even if it's just texting." Then she ended up sending me an email. I responded and said yes, and that we would have that, I could do that communication with her. She ended up sending me an email and with a whole bunch of questions, and some of those questions were like, was it because, she's like, "I don't remember you ever being around gay people, so that shouldn't have had an effect. How did you end up being gay? Did I raise you wrong? Were you abused as a kid? You dated girls growing up. How are you gay if you dated girls?" And just a whole bunch of questions. And at first I kind of took it offensively, and I thought, wow, this is really offensive. But I kind of took a step back and I thought about it, and I think that she's just trying to find clarity and trying to find understanding in who I am, and yeah, it kind of comes off offensive in the way that she words things, but I think it's mainly because she has a lot of questions. She just wants answers and clarity about my life and who I am, and it can be tough having a gay son, and that doesn't seem so norm. Since it doesn't seem norm, she has questions about it, and I'm okay with answering those questions, but I wanted to answer those questions in video form, not for her. I'm actually going to send her an email back explaining everything, answering the questions that she has, and hopefully giving her clarity. But I also want to do videos on it because if she has those questions, and I imagine a lot of other people have those questions, maybe about themselves and who they are as people, but also maybe about someone else. Maybe they are a loved one, family member or friend that has somebody that just came out and they have a lot of questions about it. Maybe that person that just came out doesn't know the answers quite yet, or doesn't feel comfortable talking about it yet. And so hopefully these videos will help. So I wanted to take the time out to do these videos. The next question is, were you abused as a child? I was abused as a child, not sexually, and even though I was abused, that has nothing to do with my sexuality. I was born gay, and I've talked about it in each of the subsequent videos or the videos prior to this. I was born gay, and it had nothing to do with being abused physically or anything of that nature. I wasn't abused sexually. I was abused physically, but my mom already knew about that. One of the guys that she had married, one of my previous stepdads, hated kids, and the one time that really stands out was one day when my mom was gone. He was in and out of the house a lot. My sister and I were at home. We were probably, I would say, like 7 or 8, and I had left a Curious George book on the kitchen floor. He came in the house and he was like, "These effing kids don't ever clean up after themselves. I effing hate kids," and was going off screaming. And he was like, "I'm throwing this shit away," and he threw my book away. And then he left, and I was like, that was my favorite book. It was my childhood book. And I was like, I can't believe you just threw my book away. So I went in there into the kitchen and got it out of the trash. He ended up coming back in, seeing me with the book, and becoming furious that I had gotten the book out of the trash. Ended up ripping the book out of my hand, throwing it across the room, picking me up by the throat, holding me up by my throat, and telling me that I was worthless, and that he hated kids and he would do anything in his power to make sure that I was put into a military school. I was 8 years old. I was like 7 or 8 years old. I was so young. And yes, that did impact my life. It impacted my life in a negative way that I have since turned into a positive way. But it did not make me gay. By any means did it make me gay. But yes, to answer her question, yes, I was abused as a child, but that did not have any effect on me being gay. And it wasn't sexual abuse that a lot of straight people and Christians and religious people in general try to tie to being gay. Oh, well, they must have been sexually abused as a child. No, that is not the case. And that isn't, I don't feel like, maybe there's science behind that, but I don't feel like that's something that would lead somebody to being gay, would be physically being sexually abused. But it does happen that kids do get sexually abused, and it sometimes coincidentally happens that those kids are gay or end up being gay, but I don't think it's because of sexual abuse. But I'm not for sure on that. I don't know the science behind that. I can just say that I was never sexually abused, so it did not have any effect on me being gay or who I am as a person in general. So that answers that. So if you're asking somebody, I feel like that's a really horrible question to ask. Like, I don't think that they tie together, and I think it's very offensive, and it makes it seem like, oh, you're a freak because you were sexually abused. Not to say, I don't feel like because you were sexually abused that you were a freak or that you are a freak. And I don't feel like that you're gay and a freak. I don't feel like those things go together, and I don't feel like that makes somebody worse off because they were sexually abused or because they were gay. Either one. So I find that very, very, very tough to answer, and I thought it was very tough to answer her with. But I don't think that we should automatically jump to, oh, you must have been physically abused, or you must have been sexually abused, and that caused you to become gay. No, that's not how that worked for me, and I don't believe that's how it works for anybody. I feel like if you're gay, you were born gay. You were born with being either bi or gay or straight or whatever you happen to be. You were born that way, and nothing changes or makes that worse or better. You are who you are, and I think that answers that question, I hope. Anyway, on to the next question. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the next video. If you haven't watched the other videos, check out the other videos. This is video number 4. Yeah. So I'll be back with video number 5. Stay tuned.